Hi, my name is Angela, and today I want to talk about one of my favorite topics. It's of course PLM. And Aras surprised us with something completely new. They have updated their roadmap on their homepage. And for those of you who remember the old roadmap, it was a little bit outdated already, not very detailed, not very often updated, and they now use a complete new concept. And this will bring us this beautiful results that you can find quite easily on their homepage. I think it's some here, Aras.com community roadmap. And you can see now here it's much more detailed. And of course it's an open roadmap, so they share it with everybody. And I thought to myself, hey, that's a perfect opportunity to make a roadmap review video. And I join you, I invite you to join me so we can take a look at the roadmap and let's see if we can find some highlights or even stuff we dislike or whatever, or surprises. I don't know what we will discover. Of course, all what I represent now here is my personal opinion. You can, of course, share my opinion, but you can also write down in the comments, for example, hey, you were wrong, or you have understood it wrong, or why do you criticize this feature? It's so awesome. So this is what's cool about Open Roadmap. It gives everybody the opportunity to talk about it, to have some kind of discussion. So in best case, everybody learns something new, and maybe at least we have some nice hour of time spent talking about PLM. It's such an interesting topic. So let's see what we have on the roadmap. When we take a look at this page, you can see here we have the roadmap section, and when we scroll down, we get an overview about the new releases. Okay, the latest one was in December, new service pack release, but we have also application releases. That's a quite nice overview. They started to release a lot more service packs, so it was really a little bit hard to follow what's new in the specific language pack and service packs and what is happening at all. So they improved this a lot, not just a little bit, they improved it a lot. Okay, yes, a little bit description, what is happening, but we are here for the roadmap, aren't we? Okay, I see. We can filter it. Okay, right now it's filtered to all, so it's just too much. Let's see, platform section. It's still a little bit too much content for a review. I think platform already, yes, there's a lot of topics that have two classifications, platform, containerization, platform, CD viewer. Let's move to something that is maybe not so packed full of features. Yeah, let's choose clients. That's a nice topic to start with. Client. What is client? I assume it's the user interface, the user experience. So the typical client applications that your end user gets as soon as he logs in, or he or she logs in. Okay, client, and we have for a section here, I assume released one is what is new in the latest versions. Implementing is probably what they're working on right now. Backlog is probably coming soon, and analyzing, they hope to be able to provide it in the future, I would say, but they have given us an official description of this released, yeah, feature released. Actively in development, implemented, backlog. Okay, I think we are all on the same page. Okay, what was new in client in the latest releases? Improved interaction for special property types. New date picker, yes, oh yeah. For those who remember the old date picker, it was really a little bit, you could pick a date, but when you want to choose a specific date or a timing, it was a lot of clicking, a little bit hard to use. I haven't tried it in the new version yet, but every date picker improvement is an excellent improvement. Intra-client synchronization, oh my god, what a complicated name for what? Sync stage between main grid forms. Okay, I assume when you update something in a form, and then it also updates automatically in the grid or relationship grid, so people always get the latest data. A complicated word for a very good improvement. Okay. Improved interaction for special property types, new poly item, okay, new dialog. Of course, this is all about user interface. Improved styling. Minimize maximum accordions, this one is nice. Nice little improvements. Command bar redesign. Yes, that's all nice. Default authorization, not sure about this one. Read data from localization improvements. Oh yes, that's something that everybody from Europe loves, or from Europe, Asia, from every country that is not US. It was really, I think we reached a level where so many customers were complaining about lifecycle cannot display the language-specific text. They finally have done it. Good one. Background page. Yes, we have a new background page in the latest version. And because when you remember the first time when Innovator 12 was completely new, and when you have installed Innovator and you started it up the first time and you get a big white screen and you suddenly were, hey, is my Innovator not working? Why is everything white? Until you discover, hey, I have to click the navigation button in the top left corner to see my nav panel at all, because in the very first version of Innovator 12 they didn't have a background page or a starting page. So you just, when you log in, you get a white screen. And I remember even in their own presentations or trainings say, yeah, they said we don't have a background page. Yes, we are working on it, so don't be confused, it's a white screen. This was a little bit of an usability fail, because I changed a lot in the user interface and somehow forgot to add a start page. This was a little bit curious, but as you can see, they immediately added one later. It was not a big issue at all. It was just confusing for the very first time you log in when you don't see anything. But say luckily now we have a background page. Oh, and when we now look a little bit to the right, we already can see the next improvement for our start page or background page, because the current version, it just shows you the contents that the user that logs in can see. For example, you're a standard user and assigned to standard PLM topics like part management. You get all the functions shown that you need for parts, for adding new parts or change management, these kind of items you get. And I assume the first feedbacks I got when they introduced the new starting page was, hey, can we customize it? And here we can see, yep, it will become customizable in one of the next versions, which is a very excellent improvement. I think we'll see a lot of improvements to the start page in the next service packs. We are definitely not at the end with the start page yet, because start page is always something like gives the user what they needed most to navigate fast. That's nice. That ties together. I think we'll see a lot of cross links when we look through these items we see here. Improved command bars, improved search interaction. Yes, I can now explain everything in detail, but maybe we will stick to the more. We cannot cover everything, it's just too much. This was a little bit easier in the old roadmap. Personal navigation, quick search is nice. Sidebar button for graph view, new date picker right in. What are they working on right now? Global client events and properties. I think this one will become very powerful. I don't know a use case for it right now. Client event and properties, so you can do more events for individual properties. I'm not sure. I'm thinking about a use case for this one right now, but I definitely will like it. As soon as we see one sample use case, we will have thousands of ideas for this one. Right now, you just can use server events. I definitely, this will become interesting. Rapid data entry for grids. Oh yes, that's something very customers definitely had asked for. Right now, when you want to edit an item, you have to open it in the form, and then you can, edit. You always have to open the form when you want to edit something. And this new feature will allow you to directly edit in the grid table. And so you don't have to open the item at all, you just edit it in the grid. I assume it will become a cool feature, but I don't think it will work for all item types, because I think it's perfect for small item types that don't have much properties, where you can easily show everything in a table. I think it will not work very well when we have extremely large item types. But this will definitely be a cool feature. People will definitely use it. And event modeling, not sure about this one. Maybe for change property one, not sure. Backlog, accordion module details. Yes, that's all improvements for accordion tab for customer form. I think they want to allow you to use this. I'm not sure, we will see. Command bar redesign. Okay, as there are a lot of redesign topics, I assume, because they have this change from Innovator 11 user interface to Innovator 12 user interface. And in the current versions of Innovator 12, you still have elements that are designed in the style of Innovator 11. And they work the same way. They just sometimes button styling is like it was in Innovator 11, and I think they now want to redesign all these remaining elements from Innovator 11. It's more an optical issue, but yeah. For those who already used Innovator 11 right now, it's not so big. You're used to the view that buttons look this way, but of course when you introduce Innovator 12 to a complete new user, then it's confusing when you have these two different kinds of styling. So definitely understand why they have to bring the styling to one level. Command bar redesign, event modeling, search grid events. Not sure about this one, but I always have to rate these features for when you get one sentence with 3 words. Cannot know everything, but I haven't. That's nice. When I click at an element, then it shows me its connections. Oh, that's why haven't they haven't. Why didn't they tell me that this is possible? Oh, come on. Global client event on prop. This is okay. Client event. I'm not sure about, but I definitely like this 3s. Whatever they will do. Shortcuts. Yeah, shortcuts are still underrated in Innovator from my point of view. There should be more shortcuts. Add open multiple items at once. That sounds useful, open multiple items at once. But of course, I now want to open 1,000 items at once. Oh, this will become interesting when some evil end user tests this out to extreme. You improve edit client behavior. Yes, that's... I always like the word improving. Improving is always cool. Personalized navigation. Yes, it's all fine. And they're not running out of ideas for improving the user interface. Configurable client card. Yes, I think this is enough for right now. We found a couple of very interesting upcoming features, like this client event, or this edit mode for main search grid. So I think we all agree that we are happy that the end user client will continuously improve. Remember when Innovator 12 showed up first time, it was really hard for Innovator 11 users to then switch to Innovator 12. You need a little bit time to get used to it, but it's as soon as it's improved and it has more features that work better than in Innovator 11, acceptance for end users will grow with every service pack, because as you can see, there is still a lot of new features upcoming, and I'm looking forward to all of them. There is nothing in here where I would say it doesn't make sense. It's all complete fine what we see here. Everything, there's nothing to be scared of, I would say. Let's agree to this one. Okay, this was a nice topic. Then let's move to something more controversial, I would say. Client, let's move to product engineering. What is product engineering? Well, it's main Innovator applications that is probably used by most of Innovator users because I would say it's a PLM main application. It contains all the part handling, manufacturer part handling, and change management. So this is definitely something that a lot of customers are affected. And let's see what we have new in the latest version. Improved validation of change processes. Yes, okay, when you add an item to a change process, then you have some additional validation. And effectivity. Okay, this 2.1 already tells us a lot about prioritization in product engineering. You know, I remember when I attended a couple of ACE events, there are community events, especially in Europe. I think there were one in Berlin, in Hamburg, Munich. And I remember at every event when they had this Aras in a round ask a question to management session, there was always somebody who said, hey, when we have this product engineering application, when do you does Aras plan to improve the way change processes are handled, or the improvement plan to the impact matrix or to transition handlers? For those of you who are not familiar with these features, you can do a lot of complex change management processes, but right now you have to solve a lot of these tasks via code. There is easier change management process tasks you can design by a user interface. This is easy, but when you really want to have really the hard stuff, the complex stuff, the mighty change processes, then you have to code. And the existing codes, there are the hardest parts from my point of view to understand and to master in Innovator, because I have a few thousand lines of code not documented, and you really have to understand the code to design your own custom powerful change management process. And I remember each year at this ACE events, I said, of course, yes, because so many people ask for change management improvements, easier designing of change management processes, and improved transition handlers. So this is definitely something on the roadmap. And as you can see here, and this was, I think, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, I heard it really every year. And the only one that made it to reality was this, okay, we do some additional validation check to items to change. And in parallel, a very big extension for product engineering was this whole effectivity feature, where you can filter a BOM. How to say it? You filter a BOM according to some additional properties like a date. So you have a date-specific BOM, or I'm not sure which other parameters you can take, but the classical one was filter a BOM by date. So at this date it was this BOM, and at another date it was another BOM. And I was really confused when I first heard about effectivity and how hard Aras drives it into product engineering, because I never had heard anyone who said, yeah, we need effectivity. I don't have anything against this feature. I understand the concept of that, of course, a BOM isn't static, but in product engineering, your BOM changes, you change a BOM revision, and you have a change management process. And right now, your effectivity BOM, it's some kind of on-demand BOM. So you apply your filter, okay, you get the filter BOM, but you cannot do anything with that BOM. What is now when a revision change, or how do I use this in change management? How does this effectivity blend into this existing product engineering features? And it's for me completely confusing. Maybe please let me know in the comment if you are one of the users who said, no, effectivity is perfect. It was exactly what we needed in product engineering, because I don't know anybody who says it. It's really like I have so many people who say we need easier to use change management processes, but nobody who says, yeah, effectivity, that was the solution. So I really hope effectivity right now, okay, it blends into the application, but it doesn't blend into, you cannot use it in change management or revision control. You have so many different concepts to display a BOM, to work with a BOM, but it all have to incorporate. I really don't get it. Please explain me. Let me know down in the comments, because maybe I'm just completely dumb. I'm not sure. So I hope we will see more, basic improvements. I mean, this is already some nice start, yes. Before I now get completely frustrated, let's see, maybe my transition handler topic is somewhere in the other sections. So we have manage configurable breakdown structures. This could become interesting because I assume this one is related to the variant manager. Right now, variant management is only available as community project, and because it has somehow the same, it works the same, not the same way, but it works in a similar way like effectivity. And with the current variant manager, you only get an on-demand BOM, so an on-demand variant BOM. And what I have heard is that they plan to integrate variant management more into product engineering, so you can actually reuse the BOM. So the things that I criticized, like effectivity, they won't actually make working for variant management. And I think this is really will become a very interesting feature, very powerful feature, because variant management is really something people ask for very often. So I assume this one, variant management, and they're working on it, so I like this one. Dynamic breakdown resolution. Not sure about this one. And change modeling, yes, that's probably more what I've talked at the beginning here. Affected item, change item. It's a little bit confusing written, but yes, that's all transition handlers and typical standard how to make a powerful change management process. I wish this one wouldn't be in the analyzing section. Really, people out there ask for these features, and because they will do it. It's an open roadmap. They present us this open roadmap for us to take a look at it, and if we like something, let them know. Or if you miss something, let them know. Because you are the customers, I am the customer, we are the customers, or even potential customers. And if they know, hey, people ask for these features, then they will do it. And that's why I like this roadmap. Dynamic BOM resolution. Safe effectivity. Safe effectivity condition. When you are an effectivity user, please explain me how you use it. So maybe I have get a better understanding for this feature. Dynamic breakdown resolution. On express exists in other ECO. Isn't that the same? Here they say they implemented add items to change. On express check is affected. I thought this one would already solve this one. Probably something you have to test out or simply ask Aras. Okay, manage configure breakdown structures. That's the same here. Okay, at least they don't have too many the topics that they show here in this product area section really focus on 2 topics, I would say, or 3. It's really like effectivity and then variant management. And I hope we will see more improvements to classical change management. And I think this would already be enough to have a good process to the product, because product engineering is really something used by so many people. So I hope we will see a couple of improvements in the next service packs, and when I will make my next review videos, then I will sit here with a big smile and say, hey, look at product engineering, we have so much cool stuff, and change management is now more easy than ever before. I think this is what I wish for 2021. 2021? Yes, that's how we say it. But let's move to another product area. Maybe something that is more, what would fit to product engineering? It's of course the Office Connector. Why not? Office Connector is also used by a lot of people, because Office will, it's always funny when they talk about, we have to get rid of Excel, and here you have an Office Connector, but of course it's more for Word documents, for classical documentation documents. So you can still work in your Microsoft Word, but revision control is done by your Innovator, which is pretty nice, and it's a feature that exists for many, many years. And as we can already see here, even it exists for such a long time, they still work on it, they still improve it, they still care for it. And I always like when I see something like this, that an application is here and it's maintained and improved. This is always a good indication for, quality is fine. So what do we have now? Adjustable new Aras document, large quantity of document types. I don't understand, but I think it's a good one. Modern restyling, okay, again, styling change. Open in Office. Okay, so I changed the position of the action button to the new user interface design. That's nice, that's okay. Additional login access points. Placements. I haven't tested the latest Office Connector yet, but I think this is all nothing to be scared of. Extended customization options. It's also a little bit, if you haven't seen it, it's a little bit hard to understand. Extended property mapping. Oh god. Office Connector, configuring the Office Connector is a little bit tricky, but so far everybody was able to do it, so nothing. I'm fine with it. Even if I don't understand anything, I think I will like it. Additional login. Oh, it's so mysterious. Modern restyling. Oh, we have a highlight. Even if I didn't understand anything from here, or of course I didn't. I just spend a couple of milliseconds for each entry, so giving my brains the time to think about it closely. But here we have a highlight. And I wished Aras itself will say, oh, I wished we would have had these features 1 year ago before the pandemic starts. Apply a digital signature inside Innovator. Wow, what a killer feature. Digital signing, of course. You always have this kind of documents where you need a handwritten signature or a digital signature. And right now in Innovator, you have your document. And then how do you get the signature on it? Do you download it and then print it and then give it to your colleague that is now somewhere in a home office, wherever? Maybe you send it in by letter or telefax him. Of course, use a telefax, send him the document, he signs it, he faxes it back. Is this the right word? To fax something? No, he then grabs the next horseman, person with a horse, give him to him, sends it back to you. And then you look at the document and see, of course, oh, there's an error in the document. We have to destroy it, modify it again, print it again, telefax it again, bring it back. So this is digital designing right now. And of course, when you would do it inside Innovator directly, that would be a powerful feature. I think everybody will like it. And of course, I like it because I already asked it, I think 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. I've asked Aras exactly for this feature, and I know that they were working on it already, but it's really hard to do. So I'm not disappointed that it's still in the analyzing section and not in the implementing section, because it's really a little bit tricky inside Innovator. But god damn it, I want to see this one. But not only in Office Connector. I want to sign every document in my Innovator. So I want to, we have the Office Connector, but we also have technical documents or manufacturing process plan or everything that can create a PDF. I want to be able to put a signature on all documents in Innovator. Well, not on all, but, at least at the documents where it makes sense. So Office Connector documents, technical documents from TechDoc framework, maybe manufacturing process plans, why not? Maybe requirements documents. It depends on the company. If you like to put signatures on documents, digital signing, we use it everywhere. God, and I'm happy that it's at least at position 1 in the analyzing section. This will become really cool. Everybody will like it. Everybody. Even customers that don't use Office Connector or do a lot of document management, this will become a killer feature. That's a highlight. Hyperlink behavior, Windows for modification vehicle. That's my highlight. That's enough. I don't have to see anything else. I like this section. Let's move to another one. Maybe Federation services. Okay, yes, no, not so much in planning, but Federation, what is Federation? When you have your database and you want to get data from another database or another data source. So it's all about connecting your data sources, and there are a lot of ways to transfer data available right now. You can, the classical Federation concept was to connect 2 databases via SQL directly. No, is it SQL directly? Yeah, somehow, yes. Or using the REST API. So you have a couple of ways to put data from A to B. And they have a lot of samples of, not, would I call it sample codes? Yes, there are development packages available that help you to do Federation a little bit faster. You still need a few programming skills. Management. And conversion mapping. I think one thing, yes, this logical model adapter. I know one Federation sample codes I have that gives you some kind of simple user interface where you can say, okay, connect this properties to this properties, and you don't have to program the logic by yourself. So you just can define, okay, these fields are connected to these fields. But this was mainly for the classical SQL connector. I'm not sure if I use the right word, but from my point of view, it's a classical SQL connector. And they plan to do something similar for example, REST API connection. We right now have to code. And I already have seen a sample at an ACE event where they connected to Jira with some user interface. So you just define, okay, this is my Jira connection. These are the properties I want to transfer to Jira or from Jira. Really simple made, but I assume it wasn't in a state right now for mass release to everyone, but I hope it will. We will see something like this for the future, especially for new users. Would make Federation a lot easier. Of course, when you're already advanced in Innovator and know how to code and know how to do things, then you will achieve your goals with the current available material. But we all like when things are a little bit easier, so I definitely look forward for this one. Yeah. Manage logic. What else? Do we take a look at conversion server? Oh, deploy Aras components on Linux. Does this mean we get a Linux support for Aras? Does this mean we get Linux server support for Aras? Can I use a Linux server in the future? Or is this just for your cloud strategy? Because a lot of cloud hosters work on Linux. They really want to support Linux. Well, that's definitely something. I assume they get a lot of requests regarding Linux. Of course, for existing customers, this is nothing like, okay, we already have set up our server. Not sure. Maybe I get it wrong, but Linux support, yes. That's a nice improvement. Migrate to, okay, this is more making it work for the future. That's all fine. Component engineering. There. Connection to IHS database where you can get a lot of data for electrical parts mainly. And from my point of view, Aras didn't understand this application. And you can clearly see that. Let's start from the scratch. So when you install component engineering, you can connect to this cloud database, and then you can search for parts and get a lot of information for this parts. For example, okay, we have this resistor. A resistor is always a stupid sample, but you have a resistor, and give me the technical data of this resistor, or it's not available anymore. Show me another component that fits to this resistor, a replacement. So you get a lot of data here and data sheets. And what I was always a little bit surprised in the demos regarding component engineering, they somehow expected, or they somehow sell it like a Google search for parts. So you type in and then you get results, and you get this huge access to this cloud database. But they don't offer much features to actually work with the data that you get. And this is because when I look at the demos, when they really show the amount of data you get from the cloud database, you really get tons of data, all kinds of data, like technical data, compliance data, export control or reliability or environmental. You get so much data, and every time you see this huge data blocks that you can get when you have this cloud access, they just jumped over it, and okay, here you have data, and this is the next feature, and here we show this and that, because of course they are software providers. They don't know about what is important for hardware manufacturers. We also are software providers, and you have all this cool information, and they just jump over it because for somebody it will be important, but I'm not sure what it is. And that's the biggest, let's say right now in product component engineering, I wish there would be more features to actually use this data, because you have so much data, but don't use component engineering like a Google search. People don't want to search, they just want to give me the data and process it, use it automatically. And you can see here we have this little chapter reporting that's exactly about this one. Material roll-up report, yes. Conflict materials report, yes. That's what people need. Reach, ROS, yes. Report on assembly level. That is what people want to do. They don't want to click around manually. And of course you have access to all these parts, but they want to use this data, and they want to have it automated, that it sums up, rolls up automatically, that you throw in your data and do one click, and then you get an reach report with all like your substances of very high concern. My product, it contains lead or whatever. This is what people want to do, and this is how I would sell component engineering. Not show them a Google Cloud search, show them solutions for this Google Cloud search or IHS Cloud search. I need some, don't drink. Use the data, because this is the area where customers save money. And this is the only reason why somebody would buy a feature like component engineering. It's not a feature that the largest accounts would buy, because when you are one of the very biggest company in the world, you have complete departments to handle component engineering. But for small and mid-sized companies, they cannot afford to have a complete department just for handling ROS reach or export control or whatever. So they would be happy about a solution that makes them easy to do, to comply to all of these requirements that you have today when you're a hardware manufacturer. God damn it, I wished when they would have reporting right now and really also demonstrated like, hey, of course you spend a lot of, you have to spend a little bit of money to get access to this cloud database, but you save so much money because you can do this task so fast. This is how I would sell the product. And it just have, right now they have just reach or EU ROS, but there are a lot of other stuff that you can do with the data, like reliability analysis. It's just calculation, you have the values, it's all there. Export control, typical. Lifecycle risk report, yes. More reporting. But I like the feature. I like it totally. I just wanted to see more reporting. Then let's move to the configurable user interface. Oh, I like it. And it's so hard to use because it's so mighty. What is a configurable user interface? Well, when you log into Aras, you have this different kind of page sections. You have this table of contents, and for example, you have your part grid and some buttons where you can do something, and some tier of menus and menus, sub-menus or whatever. So every element right now that is clickable, or an action, or does something, or a button, is defined with a new configurable user interface, and it really allows you to customize everything, which is pretty cool. But of course, as soon as it covers everything, it's get a little bit tricky to use, because each section have an own name, and you have to, when you now want to have a button at this specific location, you just first have to find out how do they name this thing and how do you get it in. So it's a little bit tricky, but once you have understand the basic principles, you can really do cool customizations. And as we can see, we haven't reached the end yet for the configurable user interface. I think this is something that will also continuously improve, because it's really everywhere. Background page, yes, the background page uses it. Sidebar modeling. Yes, that's config access commands. A talk editor. That will become nice. Talk editor. So we can edit our table of contents, yes, because right now it's a little bit... I thought it would be configurable already, but it's a little bit, I think right now, a little bit harder to do, because you really have to deep dive into the configurable user interface itself. I think a talk editor will make things a lot easier. Client colors, yes, that's all. I like this feature. Let's move to manufacturing process planning. And this page tells us everything we need to know about manufacturing process planning, because this is how an application looks like that is not maintained. And as you can see, nothing new on manufacturing process plannings in the last year, and I think the last 2 years, and it's really sad because it's really a pretty nice application, perfect for small and mid-sized customers, but as unfortunately it's nothing that large accounts would use because they already would have a professional solution for planning manufacturing. And so we right now have a couple of problems, unfortunately, in manufacturing process planning. And it's sad that nothing of these will be addressed. It's all just, maybe in the future, like adding more flexibility. What do they mean here? Okay. It's an application people want to use and then they hate to use it because it has so many tiny little... It's just, it's still a little bit of a prototype. It's working, but there's a lot of stuff somehow missing. It's like they developed it and then it reached a state like, okay, we can now show it to the customer. And then the product management said, but we still have to implement a couple of additional features to make it really working very cool and smoothly. And so people love to work with this. And marketing says, no, that's enough. It's all that we need to show for our demo. You can go home now. That's probably how it was. So what can you do? You can you have your engineering BOM, and the way you're manufacturing uses the BOM might change so that you can derive a manufacturing BOM from the eBOM, and this one actually works well. And then you can, at the same time, you can define a process plan for your product. So a simple instruction with pictures, with in step 1 do this, in step 2 do this, and use these parts. And this editor is unfortunately not very hard to use, not very advanced. Report. There are also a couple of bugs that it sometimes calculates wrong values. Report, yes. It's a little bit tricky. Everything is tricky. You can see in the forums that a lot of people try to modify or to improve manufacturing process planning so it better works out in reality. Because it's really an application that people want to use. It's just a little bit more development and then it would be a cool application. But here, when everything is in analyzing, I don't think we will see any improvements this year. Default quantity setting. Nah. Alright. That just makes me sad. I want to talk about something more positive. Enterprise search. Yes, that's fine. I think the current level enterprise search reached a level where it works pretty well. People use it. We have 2 enterprise searches. What is the difference between this one and this one? Enterprise search. I think this one is the enterprise search that I actually meant before. I think that's all fine. Oh, I don't want to go here. Access control. Mandatory access control, and yes, that's all fine. I'm not sure what's going on here, but access control, it's maybe I talk about it in another video. How long is this video already? I don't know. Oh, digital twin core. Oh, Aras' newest idea. And I tell you a secret. Digital twin core is actually just a table for storing serial numbers. But the application has a very fancy name. Seriously, right now it's really the application that is simply just a table. A table, and it stores serial number, and it has a couple of extra methods, it's to avoid conflicts, or it's just stores serial numbers, and it's just stores serial numbers. It's all what it does. But before you know, it's not a bad idea at all, this application. I think its potential is not. It's not. How do I describe it? Storing serial numbers, of course, is an absolute must-have. I think every company already does it. If you do store them in your PLM, well, that's a question. Right now in Digital Twin Core, somebody would sit in front of your computer and type in serial numbers manually. That's not how you store serial numbers, of course. But I think Digital Twin Core, when we now stick to the name Core, the question is more, how do we get the data into this application? Will there really be somebody typing in serial numbers? No. But maybe we can use some kind of federation concept. So we grab the data from our ERP or whatever that handles our serial numbers, that goes out to the customers. Then this application gets more interesting. Because we need some more automation. So it's not about storing or having this. We don't even have to store this information in our PLM. But I like the idea to have this information in our PLM because Aras concept is that you really can track your data from your requirements to the product that was actually delivered to the customer, and so you can really track your product over its life cycle. So I really love this concept. And if the data now is stored in your PLM, or it comes from your manufacturing software or whatever, it shouldn't matter. So maybe you get your data more from a federation concept, or I have an idea now, and that's awesome. Let's assume you are a small or a startup business, and you don't have much money to buy tons of various software for all kinds of tasks, and you produce a product, and of course you want to track the serial numbers, and of course you want to store them somewhere in a database. Does anybody of you remember the Aras Flow application for smartphone? And most of the time when PLM apps show up, most of the time they all have just one use case. Write a problem report on your smartphone, click send, and it appears in your PLM. In the more advanced versions, you can make a photo of your problem and send it to your PLM. What a boring use case. They all show up with the standard send a problem report for mobile applications, and that's all. Now here we have a cool application for Digital Twin Core, of course, especially for startups or small businesses. Maybe also mid-sized businesses, but I see it more potential for small businesses. Get the Aras Flow app, and the source code is available, and then change it so you can track the serial numbers of your components, of course, in your manufacturing. Because nobody is typing serial numbers manually into a PLM. No, you will just produce errors, somebody's typing a letter wrong, total chaos. No, use your smartphone. That's what I want to see for the Aras Flow app. Somebody sitting in manufacturing has this whatever app on your mobile phone, and then scan your components, scan, and immediately you have the data for the serial numbers in your PLM system available. Sets on application, and then Digital Twin Core becomes powerful. And I think it's even easy to do. So if you're a partner or even a student or an intern that wants to play around with PLM and mobile apps a little bit, grab yourself Innovator, grab yourself your mobile phone, and create a serial number tracking system for Digital Twin Core. And I think this is really something people will like. And probably, of course, it's more something for small companies, but people will use it, and they're happy when they have the serial number information somewhere in their database. I really like this. Maybe I should, I hope nobody steals my idea. But I would be happy if somebody steals this idea because I really like it. It's so obvious. Not just sending a problem report from smartphone. Yes, everybody does it. But, tracking serial numbers, of course. I think this one gets more interesting right now. I was a little bit disappointed in the beginning, but now, I think it has potential. It definitely has potential. Storing serial numbers. Collaboration. I'm a little it gets. This video already is probably extremely wrong. Parameters. Parameters tab. It will never die. Everybody uses this. It's an old concept for storing classification-specific properties, and it's a really old concept, and it just works so well that it will not die. But it will, of course, also not improve, but as long as it doesn't die, I'm happy. Office connector we already had. Simulation, TechDoc frameworks. I like every improvement in TechDoc frameworks because every improvement in this framework is also an improvement for the TechDoc application itself, for manufacturing process planning, and also for requirements management, because they all reuse this framework. And what we will get, a better CSS editor, yes, that's a good improvement. Yes, easier to do image import. Yes, that's a good one. Because in previous version, when you have a technical document, and of course it can sometimes happen that you want to have an image in a document. Of course, that sounds crazy, but we are modern times and we use images in documents, and sometimes you want to do this. And in previous version, it really requires you needed around, 7-8 clicks until you had your image in your documents. And when you want to add 100 images, 700 clicks. I hope you have nothing to do with this evening, just importing images. And so now have right now a little bit improved this one, so you can import images faster. Definitely a must-have feature. And I want to further improve it, like image by drag and drop. Yes, definitely. And it's already in the backlog, so I hope we will see it soon, because that's how you drag and drop is the best. Nobody wants to click. And remember, in the very old version, there are around 700 clicks for 100 pictures. That's a lot of clicking. So you better get, when you in the previous version, probably every 2 weeks you need to get yourself a new mouse, because all this image clicking for imported destroyed it so fast. Side-by-side comparison. Yes, I want to have this too. Embedded document elements. Yeah, that's dynamic image resize. A lot of this is already possible right now, but you have to customize a little bit the TechDoc frameworks. It's possible. I even have samples for this one but it's dynamic resize. Okay, right now what you can do is static resize. So, for example, you assign 3 different sizes, like small, middle, and large, and then you can resize the image. Not sure what I mean with dynamic. We will see. There's only one thing that I miss a little bit, and it's multi-language support. Right now, it's somehow possible to use multilingual documents, but no, in reality it's not. It's a theoretical use case that you can use it, but it's so hard to translate the document, because you have to translate the XML content itself, and even to find an appropriate XML editor that makes editing this document fast and easy, it's unbelievable hard. So right now translation is not really fun when you use TechDoc frameworks. And I hope there are other customers that say, especially international customers, to tell them, hey, multi-language support would be really an important feature. because of course, how sure I know they don't have to work with a second language. So it says they're not used to this use case, that there are people outsourced talking in a different language and want to translate their documents. But despite this one with the language, I think we will see a couple of really cool improvements in the future. I really like this. Extended vault server. Cloud-based support. Web services. Here again we have this make configuring web services a little bit easier with an editor. I already had this sample. I hope so. I really hope we will see it. But it's right now it's working. When you want to work with web services, you will succeed. Content model and containerization. Oh my god. That's too much today. I think I'm not sure how long is the video already. Let me see. Does it show it any time? Oh wow, 1 hour already? Okay, I think this is enough for today. So as I said at the beginning of this video, this all represents my personal opinion. Of course, I can sometimes misunderstood what I have seen here, and would be happy if you let me down know in the comments, hey, I agree to your opinion, or I disagree, or hey, you missed this one. Maybe there is something that you see that I didn't see, and say, hey, have you seen this one? With effectivity, it will become the coolest improvement ever. I don't know. That's the fun with an open roadmap, so that everybody can give a few insights and share opinion. And I really like this new content, and I hope I'm not sure how often they will update this roadmap, but I assume every time there will be a common new service pack. I think there will one, now it's February, I think in March, April, there will come the next service packs, and so we probably see an update to the roadmap very soon. And if you now watch this video and say to yourself, why did I watch this roadmap video? I don't even use this software. Well, then I want to recommend you these two videos about my YouTube videos where I describe how to install Innovator and how to troubleshoot an Innovator installation. And don't be scared of the troubleshooting videos, because it really shows a lot of error messages that can appear during an Innovator installation, but they only appear because I made a lot of things intentionally wrong during this installation process. So normally things shouldn't be that hard as shown in this video. So definitely recommend these two. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know your opinion, and I'm really looking forward for the next version of the roadmap. And I think things becoming more interesting. Even I do this, I work with the software a couple of years now, and it never gets boring. It more gets interesting. And even if there is stuff that I dislike, there's other stuff that I like. And I would be happy if more people share my opinions, then we can join together to drive forward stuff that we like, and then I think we've got a perfect product. So wish you a nice time, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye.